For Asgard, question is, when is it time to quit a job? A little bit of a story. Um, so again, uh, from the beginning, I wanted to work with children. Wanted to work with children in some kind of capacity, and I feel like I jumped into college too fast, very too fast, and that's one thing I regret was just jumping in it too fast. Um, did one program, child youth worker. It's just too extreme, too extreme, too much problems, too much stupidity. Wasn't interested. And I jumped into the ECE, early childhood education, thinking, hey, I can, bring forth, my experiences and my ways of doing things. And what I come to find out in this field, like you have to be molded in a certain way, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be molded. I'm not going to be like everyone else. I am going to do things in my way. I want to do things in my way and things that I've learned, things that I was taught. I want to be unorthodox. I want to be outside the box. I just don't want to follow what everyone is doing. And long story short, in and out of out of being an ECE, in and out, other jobs and coming back and thinking I can compromise, and compromise and each and every time it's the same thing. And I just keep finding myself coming back. And 3 years ago, I said, like, I'm done with being an ECE. I literally said, I'm done being an ECE. I don't want to be an ECE anymore. And what I do 3 years after saying that, I guess after a job, manager was a prick, looking for other work, and there's nothing really out there. So I said, I'm going to compromise some more and go back. I went back. At the beginning, it was okay. But I can tell at the beginning it was like, I just did not want to be there. Who I was before was not it. I wasn't that. I used to be the most exciting, enthusiastic, guy there. But coming back, I just, I was withdrawn. Didn't want to, do things that I used to do. And that was like make impacts. And I just compromised and just said, hey, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to do more of the written work this time and just do that. And long story short, a month after I started in January, I just couldn't sleep. Could not sleep. I was in and out sleeps, couldn't sleep on weekends, on hated Sundays, just dreaded Sundays, just couldn't sleep at all. Going to work tired, falling asleep at work, to a point where I was falling asleep. I was falling asleep at the gym. Like literally, I was falling asleep at the gym. And I would go to the gym and I would rush my workout just so I can sleep. Because I was on the split shift, worked early morning, 6 o'clock to like 10:30. Had the 10:30 till, let's say, 2 o'clock to do my own thing. So I'd go to the gym right after work. And I would rush my workout just so I can sleep. I would rush my workout just so I can sleep. I would skip going to the gym just so I can sleep. It was that bad. And even then, it's like I still wasn't getting enough sleep. I was so tired. Just not enough. Walking to work in the morning, in the afternoon, so tired. So just not into it. I was tired because deep down I know, and I knew that I did not want to do this. Deep down, I knew mentally, emotionally, I just didn't want to do it. My body was telling me I don't want to do this. And I didn't. And I know I didn't, because I know I said I was done with it, but here I am coming back again. And I usually never regret a single thing that I've ever done. But that decision to come back was one of my only regrets that I've made ever, was coming back to become an ECE again. And I had time to walk away. I had at least a month or two before actually getting a job to actually walk away. But I continued. And I regret coming back. Because, I just couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. My performance was horrible because I just didn't care. Just didn't care for it. Just energy was my energy was very low. I was tired. Just hated Sunday evenings. Had to wake up 5 a.m. every morning, so tired. And just complaining to myself, I don't want to do this. And I get there, I'm so tired. And I get there, I'm just low energy. I don't want to do anything. It's like I've done all this before. I've seen it before. I've done it before. There has to be something new. And that's why I like to do my own thing, because I can create new things. I can do new things. And if you tell me to do something and that's the only thing I can do, I'm going to get bored. I'm going to get bored. And that's what I did. I got bored in like March or maybe February. I got bored. It's not the first time getting bored of this career. I've been bored so many times, but I kept coming back, thinking I can compromise, thinking I can do this instead of that this time. But again, that was like the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. Two biggest mistakes was actually doing this in the very beginning in 2008, applying to be in these programs in 2008 or 2009, and then coming back in 2023. I regret it because I could not sleep. I was just shitty. Again, to be falling asleep at the gym, man, that's just horrible. To be rushing at the gym, it's just horrible. And the first time I didn't have to rush at the gym, like on a weekday, it just felt so nice. Got to take my time. I just got to take my time and relax and do what I need to do. But man, and again, I've done the split shift before. And it wasn't so bad before, but this time it was just the worst. I thought it would have been better, work in the morning, go to the gym in the afternoon, be good. But this time, this run was the worst. And again, I regret coming back and becoming an ECE. I regret being an ECE. I regret it. Especially, I hate people. And there was a time where you're around children. The children were just awesome. They were awesome. That's why I got into them. I'm like, hey, these children are good. I want to be around them. They're not so bad anymore. But once you're in it, you see a lot of bullshit with children and their families and their parents. And it's like, really? It's like, this makes me hate people even more and more. And especially when you hate people, you're not going to do things people do. You're going to do things your own way. And you just can't. In this society, you just can't. It's either you get molded and get forced to be what they are, or you get out. That's That's what it is. That is what it is. So again, the question is, when is it time to quit? I think when your body is, not functioning the way it used to be. If you're not excited anymore, not like happy, not full of, you're full of like low energy. You can't sleep at night, can't, wake up in the morning. You're dragging yourself to work. Deep down, if there's a tiny speck that you do not want to do this anymore, you don't want to do it, then it's time to go. It is time to go. And I don't, recommend, if you are a person that wants to do your own thing, has your own ideas, if you're like a mad scientist, if you're a chosen one, if you're creative, if you want to be your own boss, do not become an early childhood educator. Being an ECE is one of the worst careers out there. It may look like roses, you're playing with children all day. There's that aspect of it, but at the end of the day, at some point, that becomes boring. At some point, it's like you've seen this before. You've done it before. Like you want something else, but every day of being an ECE is literally the exact same thing. And you can't, as a childcare worker, you can't add and say, hey, let's try this time. Let's do that. You can't. You have to do the same thing for the rest of your life. And people who, are okay with that, people who are good slaves, obedient sheeps, being an ECE is for you. But if you're a person that wants to do your own thing, if you're like a tiger who wants to do their own thing, a panther, a snake who wants to do their own thing, this is not the right career path for you, because it's boring. It's redundant. Some of the children are awful. Some of the parents are awful. The workers are awful. The pay, depending on where you are, is all right. But it's not about the pay. It should be about your health first. If your health is not good and the pay is good, bad position. If your health is good and the pay is okay, that's probably the best position you can think of. Best position for you. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there for Asgard.